So Amber, what's about the training? No, what you are coming to offer here in the Netherlands? What's the story?
I'm going to offer a 5-day rocket experience. So I like to call it an experience. Of course, it is a training, but we really we're going to embrace and study the whole rocket system. So in the system, there's different routines. You'll be studying and practicing rocket 1, 2, and 3. And I developed bottle rocket, which is mini versions of those routines. So I find those to be just a little bit more accessible for people to learn how to teach. And when you're introducing rocket in your hometowns, a little more accessible for newer students. And also, what is special about my trainings is I work around the philosophy behind the rocket and Larry Schultz's philosophy. So everything is applied to the philosophy. So the Larry Schultz philosophy is practice what you teach what you practice. And so this becomes part of developing a personal practice. So by taking the training, one of my goals for you is to leave the training with a stronger personal practice, being able to practice the rocket on your own, because you learn so much from tuning into your inner teacher. And then some of the other aspects of the philosophy, like creativity, learning to be creative within the structure of the rocket. So there is a structure, but with rocket, we're embracing the changes that are taking place in our bodies and our minds every day. So some days we may feel like pushing ourselves a little more. Some days we may need to modify and listen to that. So, a big part of the training is learning the philosophy behind the rocket, studying the routines, and then just being able to practice together and working together in an in-person setting. We'll be able to practice 2-finger adjustments. So part of the experience will be learning how to assist with more advanced poses and how to adjust some of the more basic poses. But with Larry's system, that's different than Ashtanga. Is in Ashtanga, they lay on you and they push you and they pull your leg behind your head. And we don't like that. We don't want people to get hurt. So in the rocket system, we're going to learn more about the 2-finger adjustments of how you can do so much, and just by guiding with the 2 fingers and studying the hand and feet placement in the poses. So that becomes a big factor. And then, of course, everyone in rocket loves inversions and learning how to strengthen yourself so that you can do inversions safely. So we'll be working a lot of core exercises, using the wall for cross training. So some people ask me, do I have to be able to do a handstand to take the training? And I say, no, that's why you want to take the training, is so that you can learn how to become stronger and smarter in your body intelligence, so that when you're, developing over time, you'll safely be able to practice inversions. And that's really, the goal of practicing the rocket is longevity in our practice. And so it's not, like Luca said, it's not all about the handstands and getting into advanced poses, but over time learning how to practice in a therapeutic manner.
I agree completely, because I have my experience as a student, and still being a student, of course. It's never been with rocket to be able to do some stuff. Rocket has been something that brought to me a lot of tools to create, a lot of tools to understand bodies and people, a lot of tools to I think the biggest tool I got from the training has been always like the idea of modification. The idea of modification helped me to create like a bigger frame in the room for everybody. You know, when you had 25 people in a room and you had 25 people in your class, and you had 25 different languages, no, body languages on the mats. And Rocket has been this place where I learned how to make everything accessible, no, and it's just like, okay, you're not here, you can get there. No, don't worry. There's no rush. You keep trying, you keep smiling, you keep laughing at yourself if it's not coming. Myself, I'm not a very good handstander after many years of Rockets. You know, like the goal is not the handstand, but for me, it's been like all the philosophy of a concept. Now that you can really take in account the whole people you have in the room as a teacher and understand how to bring them in the place of happiness, no? And that's what I learned mostly from the Larry Schultz philosophy, no? And then of course there is the challenge, there is the sequences, but there is also a way to milder way to access, as you say, not the Ashtanga visions, no? It's more like a milder and a broad open vision, as much as at least here in Europe, Ashtanga is becoming more and more milder. There is many good teachers that they have a very different vision nowadays. So it's there, it's changing.
But if I can add something, because I took Amberjean teacher training, so I can be like, how to say, I can give a good representation. It's not that Amberjean puts all her experience in the teacher training, so you really get that love and that knowledge when you take a teacher training. I really think also what she developed, like the bottle rocket, is something that I use a lot to teach, especially for the students at the beginning, to build the confidence, to build the strength, to really get the gist of what we're doing. So I really like that, because she has, you see, like all what we also do in Rocket, is function over form. So it's really also something that is applied in everything that she teaches throughout the teacher training. So indeed, there have to be therapy what you do. I remember all the medicine poses also for me when we were discussing during the teacher training. So I had also one other element that I really like was about what she said about the creativity. So during a teacher training, I really enjoyed it, all the process. And plus she lived for a long time with Larry, so she can always tell a little bit of her experience, a little anecdote about her life with during her time in San Francisco. So I really loved it, not just, I mean, there is a lot of content and information that she puts in the teacher training, but there is also her love and her life experience being like, Rocketeer for so long, and can help you a lot, especially when you start to approach and maybe you have these ideas how to be more understanding of the system despite the idea that you have of it. So it's like to be more applicable, and as I said, like function over form, different bodies, different experience, how to be able to see and what to do when you are in class. So I really found it very, very beneficial. And she's very, for me, like during the teacher training with the medicine poses and everything, I did not give myself any goal, because also with Rocket is not that we are looking for giving ourselves a goal, right? That's the point. But it helped me in the long run a lot. Like now it's past time and things that I did not think I could achieve in a certain way, just by following the process, trusting my inner guru, just trusting my body, things are manifesting themselves. So it just, I think it's all like in a certain way connected. And I really like during the teacher training, I like the things of the medicine poses. I still try to apply it to myself, to combine things that I like with things that I don't like, and just to find a way to marry them.
Yes. So, Ellie, so what that reminds me of is that's something that I do like to offer in my trainings is I like to make them personalized for each student.
Yeah.
So that each student that takes the training is coming in with weaknesses and strengths and helping them. And that's where you're hearing the word medicine poses, helping them find certain asanas to work on that can help strengthen their weaknesses, but also at the same time embrace their strengths. And so that's why, you know, we have a limited number of people that we accept into the program, is because we really like to have a more intimate rocket experience.
Mm-hmm.